Today we're testing out if a door on your Arc/Arc XL can help improve heat up times, recovery times, and maybe even propane cost. First off, I gotta say these doors were sent to me by NU2U. I did not purchase them on my own. That being said, I'm gonna give you guys my honest opinion and accurate data. I actually worked with them from the get-go on these doors. They would send me some prototypes first to make sure they actually worked. That's why I like working with NU2U. They send me stuff and ask for my feedback, instead of sending me stuff and asking me to sell as many as possible. One of our first iterations didn't allow enough airflow, so it wasn't getting enough oxygen, so it wasn't combusting properly. Flame was really weird, so they made some tweaks to it. Now you can see the flame works fine. It's getting plenty of air. It's combusting just normal. Let's take a look at how much these doors helped with heat up time. So I did my test as usual, put the doors on, got them fired up, tested them out, and here are the results. Let's start off with the Arc. Oh, no, that's this one. Let's start off with the Arc. Normally, it gets to 850 in 47 minutes. And though both these tests were done in my garage, doors cracked open, front and back, try and get airflow, controlled environment mostly. So 850, it took 47 minutes. With the door, it took 22 minutes. So you're saving 15 minutes every time you heat up your pizza oven by putting this door on. And then if you're wanting to push it past up to 950, it goes from 62 minutes down to 28, and then max temp from 80 minutes down to 32 and a half. So this cuts down the heat up time drastically. Now let's head over to the XL. Here you can see it took 44 minutes to get to 850, and with the door it took 23 and a half minutes. So an interesting thing here I noticed is the Arc XL gets up to 850 on its own quicker than the Arc, but with the door, the Arc gets up to temp quicker than the XL with a door. It's really trapping that heat in. Gets to 950 normally in 60 minutes, cuts it down to 31. And so 1,073 down to 35 and a half. So on the most part, you could say it cuts the time in half, which for me is huge. And even after our hour-and-a-half long test of heating up and doing all this other stuff that we were doing, the handle on this door right here did a great job of not heating up too much. The first few inches after an hour-and-a-half were really hot to the touch and I wouldn't grab it, but you can still grab these lower, 2 or 3 inches. So you can still manipulate it and handle it even after an hour-and-a-half. The thing that's great about these doors and how they work is since they are on the stone floor, it's keeping that heat down at the stone where we need it, and then it's still allowing air in for it to combust and come out through the exhaust port here. And it's made of thick stainless steel, so it's not going to warp under high heat, and it's also not going to rust. I've had a NU2U door for a while, have left it outside, and it still looks almost new. I mean, here's the one I've been using on my dome, and it still looks great. It hasn't rusted, and I've left it here outside for a while, and it's been rained on. They're built well, and they come in price-wise over $100, which for some people may seem steep. And I've seen on Etsy there's other cheap ones, and I haven't tested them out, so I can't speak to those. But the Gozney door comes in at $125. This can only be used for baking and smoking meats, barbecue. You're not supposed to use it when heating up. I know a lot of people do, and I have done it myself. You just have to pull it back a little further. But the handle gets really hot to the touch. I'm worried about ruining this seal when I do it. So for $125, I use this maybe 5% of the time. And I'm using my NU2U door on my dome 95% of the time, because every time I cook pizzas, I'm using it to get the stone up to temp way quicker. Now let's look at how much the door helps with recovery time. The test I do, and I do this on all pizza ovens, so it's a standard across the board, is we get the pizza ovens up to 850, and then we kind of turn it down, try and hover at 850 for another half hour to get the stone really, really hot and saturated all the way through. And then we launch a pizza at 850. We cook it on full throttle for 1.5 minutes. Then we take the pizza out. And on the Arc, we took the pizza out and it temped at 740 after that 1.5 minute cook. And then got back up to 850 after just under a minute. Launched another pizza, cooked it for 1.5 minutes, Pulled it out, and it temped at 750 after that pizza, and took just under a minute to get back up to temp. Now to put in comparison on the arc, with that same test before it took 4 minutes, now we're down to 1 minute. So you're cutting down 3 minutes in between pizzas. Cooking one pizza that night doesn't matter, but once you start cooking for parties or small businesses, whatever, that's really gonna help pay off. So let's take a look at the undercarriage on both of those pizzas. You can see the first pizza had a great cook. It looks great. The second one actually looked like it cooked a little bit more even. And on to the Arc XL. Same exact test. We launched our first pizza at 850, took it out, and it temped at 760. And it was back up to 850 within just under 45 seconds. And put in another pizza, cooked it for a minute and a half, temped it again. It was about 750. Took about 45 seconds to get back up to temp after that. And again, same deal here. Both pizzas came out great. The bottom, I mean, it's cooking a little hotter than I'd like. It's a little bit of burning. But I'm just trying to, I do these temperatures because I want to keep them consistent. So obviously on the Arc, I would not be cooking on full throttle because those pizzas did not turn out great. They were burned. Again, I'm just going for consistency. So the Arc XL door, normally recovers in 3 minutes. Now it's down to 45 seconds. So quite a bit of savings there. Okay, so will these doors help you save money on propane usage? Yes, they will. Is it drastic? Not really. I think it would take a long time for that cost savings. But for me, the more important cost savings is time. The amount of time I'm going to be saving with heat up times in between each cook. I value my time, so I think it's well worth the investment. I have them on my rock box, my dome, and my arcs. Why wouldn't you want a door on your pizza oven to help get it up to temp quicker? If you are looking to pick one up, I put a link in the description to their website where you can get a door for yourself, and I would love to hear how they work out for you.